Look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap, just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever. Like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he got to be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know.
All the money. He got to show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car, and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that, like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like 3 million. There's watches that are 3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. Mm-hmm. That's nuts.
For example, Joe Rogan directly challenged Floyd Mayweather's claims about his real estate holdings during the conversation. He made it clear that he had doubts about the reported numbers, and even paused the discussion to stress that from his perspective, the figures just did not add up.
And one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like, he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like, this is $1 million worth of watches, this watch goes for $2 million, and they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but when I show you, when I show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like $5 million. And so you hate it.
That Floyd owes like $1.4 million in jewelry debts, that Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment, his private jet fuel. He's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets, and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a $54 million loan from a individual, from a billionaire that had a 9% interest on the loan.
Joe Rogan also questioned the broader narrative surrounding Floyd Mayweather's fortune. He expressed skepticism about the reports that Floyd owns a large number of expensive properties, and pointed out that making big claims is very different from having verified assets that actually support those statements.
That money to the IRS, how much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No,
it's just neglect to pay.
Neglect, and it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this. He makes so much money. There's probably a point when they're like, "Hey, it's time to pay your taxes," and you go like, "All right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money." And then they go, "That's true, but you owe 50 more," and he's just like, "That can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
Congrats. You can sell.
That is where the conversation begins to heat up, because Floyd Mayweather built the Money Mayweather brand around unlimited wealth, massive stacks of cash luxury watches, and a business empire that seemed untouchable. Yet several reports that have been making rounds in financial circles suggest that the true picture could be much more complex than many people originally believed.
That Floyd Mayweather is made, and because he's the best in the history of pay-per-view at making sure that the money ends up in his pocket. He is, or has been, a businessman as an athlete that almost doesn't have a peer because he owns all his own stuff as an independent. Your spending has to be so fiscally irresponsible to lose the amount of money that Floyd Mayweather has lost that it is almost beyond anything that is reason. It's not merely fiscal insanity. It's something that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. And another sign of him maybe in financial trouble is, as of February 2026, Floyd Mayweather has initiated a massive $340 million lawsuit against Showtime Networks and former executive Steven Espinoza. So he's trying to get some bread right now.
The estimate is that he made over $1.2 billion over the course of his career and just earnings from...
According to reports from Business Insider, 2 of Floyd Mayweather's commercial properties were said to have entered foreclosure. There were also allegations that a Las Vegas strip club linked to him faced the possibility of being seized due to claimed unpaid property taxes. In addition, several legal disputes related to high-priced watch and jewelry purchases were reported to have increased pressure on his finances. While Floyd has rejected those claims, the focus of the discussion gradually moved away from wealth and achievement and toward growing questions about his financial affairs.
Things that they said in this article were insane. That Floyd owes like $1.4 million in jewelry debts, that Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment, his private jet fuel. He's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a $54 million.
The report further stated that 2 condominium units at Trump International Hotel Las Vegas were allegedly taken over because of unpaid taxes before eventually being restored after the outstanding payments were settled. It was also reported that a $54 million loan connected to Mayweather supposedly listed assets, including his home's private jet and businesses, as security. Whether those stories came from misunderstandings or were overstated, the gap between Floyd Mayweather's public reputation and the financial allegations being discussed has remained a major source of debate. Joe Rogan's Skepticism had already led many people to question Floyd's financial empire, but then Chael Sonnen joined the discussion with an even stronger response. He openly wondered why anyone was surprised by the "is Floyd broke" conversation, arguing that the subject should not be viewed as shocking in the first place.
And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. I don't tease him for it. He was a guy who grew up in a boxing channel, right? And it's one of these things. You know what you know. You know what you were taught. I didn't teach him about contracts. I didn't teach him about saving. I didn't teach him about investments. Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke.
He shifted the focus of the debate back to the public by questioning why anyone would find it strange for a boxer to keep fighting in order to make money when ordinary people go to work every day for the same reason. His remarks combined straightforward honesty with a touch of controversy. From that point, he continued pushing back against the long-accepted stories about massive boxing payouts. He claimed that many of the reported billion-dollar earnings and huge pay-per-view totals are often based on promotional claims rather than officially verified financial records. He also stated that in his view, the companies that manage pay-per-view sales have not publicly confirmed many of those eye-catching numbers. That statement alone created even more skepticism around years of excitement and publicity surrounding boxing revenue figures.
Gambling addict. Got baby mamas all over the... What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question. But it's the fact that they're attempting to tease him. I mean, first off, they're asking the question. Look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check?
He also cast doubt on the larger financial stories connected to Floyd Mayweather by bringing up the claim that Floyd supposedly made close to $1 billion and asking who actually confirmed or distributed that money. In doing so, he was not only questioning Floyd, but also challenging the way wealth and success are often presented throughout the sports world. He then moved on to the uncertainty surrounding fight agreements and promotional contracts, explaining that Floyd reportedly announcing several fights around the same period as a rumored Tyson matchup could have caused major complications for promoters. In boxing, he stressed that scheduling and exclusive agreements are extremely important and can quickly make negotiations more difficult. He also pointed out what he viewed as an ironic twist by referencing Floyd's own allegations against Showtime over claimed questionable business dealings, which added yet another layer to the continuing controversy.
And I'm only sharing with you, like, the numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good, and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And, yeah, of course Floyd's broke. Would you be boxing if you weren't? And it's very tough to be
Critics have also raised concerns about Floyd Mayweather's promotional activities, including the circumstances surrounding his fight with Logan Paul, arguing that similar misunderstandings and disagreements seem to appear throughout different areas of the boxing industry. Because of that, the situation begins to resemble an ongoing cycle of blame, where each side believes the other is responsible for the confusion. At the same time, a noticeable contradiction remains. Even as people continue questioning Floyd's finances, disputing reported earnings, arguing over contract terms, and downplaying exhibition fights, his impact on the sport is still impossible to ignore. Whenever Mayweather's name appears on a fight poster, it continues to draw the attention of the entire combat sports community.
Owes Logan Paul $1.3 million. No, he doesn't. Just to clear that up, no, he doesn't. Will Logan ever get the money? I think Floyd's broke. Floyd does not owe Logan $1.3 million. Floyd's promotion owes Logan $1.3 million. And no, of course he's not going to get it. That promotion's already shut down. Allegedly.
Chael Sonnen had already added fuel to the discussion about whether Floyd might be facing financial problems. But once Jason Whitlock and the rest of the panel became involved, the conversation turned into what felt like a detailed financial examination of some of boxing's biggest stars. The mood quickly moved beyond normal sports commentary and started sounding more like an investigation. It was almost as if everyone suddenly became part-time accountants analyzing the boxing business. Whitlock began by supporting Shannon Sharpe's and OC's view that if Floyd Mayweather returned from retirement, the main reason would likely be the opportunity to secure another massive payday. As soon as possible opponents such as Saul Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, and Terrence Crawford were brought up, the focus quickly shifted to the business side of the sport. Sharpe argued that those were the types of fights capable of producing the level of revenue Floyd would need to consider a comeback, making it sound more like a realistic possibility than simple speculation. Whitlock then introduced a Rocky-inspired comparison by asking why fighters decide to return to the ring. That question pushed the discussion in a deeper direction, transforming a debate about money into a wider conversation about motivation, legacy, and the desire to compete.
Sharpe and Ocho Cinco suggested on their podcast that Floyd Mayweather is talking about coming back, unretiring.
He is.
Because he's broke.
Yeah.
Let's play the clip here of Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco.
There are only 3 fights that Floyd can have.
Because Floyd built his whole identity around the idea that wealth means success, and even changed his image from pretty boy to money, the discussion becomes even more intense. Whitlock points out the irony in that branding. When a public image is built on luxury and riches, even small rumors about financial problems can turn into a major media story very quickly. Dre then offers a more practical view and says the real question is not only how much Floyd Mayweather has earned, but what is actually known about his real financial situation, including cash flow, investments, debts, taxes, and lifestyle costs. In simple terms, it is about the full picture behind the glamorous online image. The panel also talks about gambling losses, tax responsibilities, and expensive spending habits, which together make Floyd's career look less like a simple success story and more like a complicated financial setup that is hard to fully understand. Still, there is a clear contradiction in the debate. While some on the panel question why a fighter close to 50 years old would think about returning to the ring, others quietly admit what every boxing fan already knows. If Floyd Mayweather ever officially announced a fight against names like Saul Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, or Terrence Crawford, the entire debate would disappear instantly because everyone discussing it would still end up watching once the fight begins.
$1 billion and he's 47 years old and he's completely broke. He's won the prize. This is, of all the idiots that we've seen out there, celebrities, actors, entertainers that have lost a lot of money, this guy would take the cake. To blow a bill before he even hits 50 is unimaginable. It actually is sad. It's a cautionary tale. We have seen it time and time again. But who actually wants to watch this guy fight? Like, people that love him. If he comes out and if he loses and looks terrible and gets destroyed, well, look, if you love him or hate him, you can say, well, he's nearly 50 years old. This doesn't.
Whitlock and the panel had already turned the Floyd Mayweather comeback debate into something that felt like a financial courtroom discussion. But the atmosphere changes once Andre Ward joins in. His presence immediately shifts the conversation from heated guessing to a more calm and experienced fighter's viewpoint. Ward starts by showing respect for Floyd's discipline and strong work ethic over the years. He explains that many people only focus on the flashy parts of Mayweather's image, like luxury cars, private jets, and high-end spending, but that this image was also part of a carefully designed brand. Underneath all of that, he says there was always a serious fighter who stayed loyal to training and constant work in the gym. He also admits that he feels mixed emotions about the idea of Floyd making a comeback, and that honest reaction adds weight to his perspective.
Part of that is because of the way Floyd Mayweather goes about his business. He's been filthy rich. He's made his name, his legacy, and a lot of his reputation wasn't just the boxing. It was the money. It's the money man. What I have, what I'm driving, what I'm living in, what I'm flying in. And a lot of people, they don't like that. I don't know if Floyd Mayweather had more supporters for most of his fights or more haters, but regardless of where you fall on that line, Floyd Mayweather made it work for him when many people, promoters included, networks included, early on didn't think
that kind of insight really only comes from someone who has reached the top of the sport. From there, the discussion moves into the possibility of a Pacquiao rematch, and the breakdown becomes more technical once again. Andre Ward makes an important observation about aging fighters. He explains that as speed naturally drops with age, certain fights can actually become more exciting. With less movement and footwork involved, bouts often turn into closer range trading instead of constant distance control. This challenges the usual belief that older fighters automatically produce less entertaining matches. However, he also raises a serious concern about the risks that come with age. Ward points out that a veteran fighter may still feel mentally sharp and believe they are performing at the same level as before, but physically the body does not always react the same way anymore.
Watch a fighter, he'll say he don't watch him, but he'll watch any potential opponent over and over and over, and he has to process, can he do anything with me? How does my skill set line up with his? Can I beat him? The problem with being 49 years of age is sometimes your brain can see things and tell you things that your body's not in agreement with. That's the problem with age. Your brain is still saying, I'm him. Your brain is still saying, man, I'm Money Mayweather. Man, these youngsters can't deal with me. But your body is saying, brother, we can't do it like that.
When you take a step back and view the whole situation from a broader perspective, it feels like several different viewpoints are coming together at the same time. Joe Rogan questions the story around Floyd Mayweather's financial empire and raises doubts about how strong those claims really are. At the same time, Chael Sonnen breaks down the wider myth around boxing earnings and challenges how fighter pay is often presented to the public. On another side, Jason Whitlock and his panel examine the business and lifestyle angle of the situation, analyzing it through money, promotion, and industry structure. Then Andre Ward adds the fighter's point of view, stressing that boxing becomes part of a person's identity in a way that goes beyond financial gain. One interpretation of the Floyd Mayweather comeback story is that it is motivated by the chance of another huge payday, while another view suggests the financial rumors around him may be overstated or misunderstood. Ward's perspective introduces something different altogether, as he explains that fighters often return because normal life cannot match the intensity, competition, spotlight, and adrenaline that sit at the heart of the sport. In the end, the discussion comes down to legacy versus longevity and business versus passion.
That's the struggle, and that's the danger of coming back at this age. So part of me wants to see these guys continue to make money. Part of me wants to see these guys, how do they do it at this age? Man, show me something. Show me how your mind can overtake the deficiencies you may have in your body at your age. But the deeper part of me, man, I want to see Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao on a beach somewhere, living off the fruits of their labor, helping the game however they see fit to help the game, and just watching the next generations do what they do. But hey, we got to fight September 9th.
The spotlight is now on you. What do you believe is behind Floyd Mayweather's possible comeback? Is he aiming for another massive paycheck? Is his love for boxing pulling him back into the ring? Or does he still have unfinished business connected to Manny Pacquiao and the legacy he wants to leave behind? Let us know your opinion in the comments and keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more updates.